Let me ask you a question. What will you do if you discovered on your hospital bed that the 3 children you raised, the 3 children you fed, the 3 children you trained, the 3 children you sacrificed your life for, the 3 children you called your blood are not truly yours? What would you do if a simple blood test told you that none of their blood matches yours? No shouting, no drama, no argument, just silence, just data, just DNA. What would you feel? Would you feel anger, pain, shock, hatred, silence, regret, confusion, forgiveness, or complete emotional collapse? Let me ask you again, what would you do? This is not a story, this is not fiction, this is reality. It has happened and it is still happening and will continue to happen. We all know by now, it is no longer breaking news, it is no longer a surprise that Enugu State is set to host the largest and first comprehensive DNA and criminal forensics investigation and research center in Africa.
Be able to work properly. So here is the DNA section we're going to achieve. Now, after here, we are going to clean up and then move to the next section, which is what we call the brain PCR.
Not a rumor, not speculation, not propaganda, a real structure, a real system, a real scientific institution led by the administration of Governor Dr. Peter Mba. We've heard it, we've seen it, we've shared it, we've discussed it. So let's not talk about the news, let's talk about the impact. Let's talk about the human side. Let's talk about the psychological side, the silent suffering, the hidden pain. Across the world, and especially in countries like Nigeria, millions of men are raising children that are not biologically theirs, not because they choose to, but because they never knew, not because they accepted it, but because they were deceived, not because they agreed, but because they had no access to truth. And the truth is painful because DNA testing in Nigeria is expensive, out of reach for the average man, out of reach for the poor, out of reach for struggling families, out of reach for the working class. So silence becomes the system. Ignorance becomes protection. Fear becomes survival. And lies become normal. Many men don't test because they are afraid. Many women hide because they are scared. Many families live on assumptions. Many marriages are built on uncertainty. Many homes are built on stories, not because people want to lie, but because truth is very expensive. And let us be honest, society always puts the blame on women, but let's ask real questions. What reasons could make a woman get pregnant outside her marriage and come home to give the child to her husband? Is it out of fear, poverty, abuse, neglect, loneliness, pressure, survival, emotional abandonment, financial dependency, society stigma, cultural expectations, economic desperation? Or what do you think? What reasons do you think could push a woman into that situation? Drop it in the comments because real life is not black and white. It's complex, messy, layered, emotional, and human. Can you forgive a woman who spent her entire life giving birth to children that are not yours? Can you forgive that level of deception? Can you live with that truth? Can love survive that reality? Can family survive that revelation? Can trust recover from that? Now flip the question. Can a woman survive in a society where pregnancy outside marriage can destroy her life, where stigma can end her future, where shame can erase her identity, where culture can destroy her existence? This is not a gender war. This is not man versus woman. This is not blame culture. This is a system failure, a failure of access, a failure of truth, a failure of silence, a failure of systems. When truth is inaccessible, lies survive. When science is absent, deception thrives. When systems are weak, suffering grows. This is where DNA changes everything. DNA is not biased, it is not emotional. DNA is not cultural, DNA is not religious, DNA is not political. DNA is simply truth. It doesn't shout. When DNA becomes accessible, men stop living in doubt, women stop living in fear, families stop living in lies, children stop living in identity confusion, society stops living in deception. Truth becomes normal, science becomes standard, evidence becomes culture. For Enugu State, this is not just a building, it means smarter policing, better investigations, scientific prosecutions, stronger justice systems, reduced crime, faster case resolution, trust in institutions, credible governance, modern justice architecture. For Nigeria, it means something deeper. It means the beginning of systemic modernization, not noise, not slogans, not politics, not drama, but systems, real systems. You cannot build a modern society on emotions. You cannot build a future on assumptions. So let me ask you again, what would you do if you discovered your children were not yours? Would you leave? Would you forgive? Would you stay? Would you hate? Would you collapse? Also, should DNA testing be compulsory at birth? Should truth be standard? Should science be normal? Should identity be verified? This is not about Enugu alone. This is not about one governor. This is not about one project. This is about a shift in civilization, from emotion to evidence. The future from now will be evidence-based. The future will be system-driven. And whether people are ready or not, the future has just started in Enugu State.
These are levels of set upstairs. So this is very simple level. We're also going to do genomic surveillance and be able to work properly. So here is the DNA section we're going to achieve. Now, after here, we are going to clean up and then move to the next section, which is what we call the brain PCR. Students, get out.